Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, as we wind down, I'd like to have it come home a little bit with one of our spokesperson. And again, AMMD is incredibly gracious for the fact that he signed on back in like 2017. Mr. Dave Yoho, World War II. Please give a round of applause for our spokesperson, Mr. Dave Yoho.
All right, so we come to the end of the day. Someone once said, if you took all the after-dinner speakers in the world and laid them end to end, wouldn't it be a wonderful idea? Now, the reason I tell you this, you have really been taken into our web. We've sucked you in. And how did we suck you in? Not because of us, but because of you. You had the patience to hear our story. Now, as part of my later education, I took extended courses in human behavior. So I'm aware of what behavior means. But you see, the real stars here are all of you people sitting here. You have some connection to us. Sometimes it's remote, sometimes it's a relative, sometimes it's a cause that you feel important. So I'm going to ask you to think about two things. And as a precursor to those two things, I want to tell you what you really have. You see, tonight when you go to bed, you're going to crawl into a bed that is comfortable or uncomfortable by virtue of the mattress, the lighting, the air conditioning. And when you wake up in the morning, you will assess your evening sleep by how well you slept and the fact that you can go in and take a shower, a bath, and go do whatever toiletries you're having. The ladies put on your makeup and the guys look in their mirror sideways and suck in their gut. But all these things are privilege. They are given to you as privilege. What we have lost in our society, I don't speak to you as a friend. I don't speak to you as an ego. I speak to you as someone who observes human nature. The patriotism that existed, that preceded the people who volunteered in World War II. Remember, we put 16,200 people in uniform, 12.5% of our population. And the women stepped up and went in to each of the ranks. They drove the trucks. They worked in the factories. They did everything that our workforce couldn't do. And only 7% of the women could drive in those days. And now, in later life, we have a tendency to forget that. There was a group called the WASPs. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. 1,000 women recruited to fly the airplane. When that airplane was completed in Detroit, they had to fly it to a place to be armed. And when they flew it to that place, they didn't have enough men for the job, so they took 1,000 women, they recruited them. Now, women cannot go into combat in World War II. No woman was entitled to go into combat. They lost 39 people, and they never went into combat because the aircraft were faulty at times, and that's what caused the problem. And how easy it is to forget that. So when we came out of World War II, the people you see here, we didn't get the accolades you got. You played our song today because somebody told you if you wanted us here, you got to play that song. Heave-ho is not in anyone's great retinue. But we suck you in, and they get sucked in, and I'm going to be the Grand Marshal of the World War II parade, which takes place on Monday. I'll be the Grand Marshal for the 4th time. I go in the entrance car and an open card, and I demand a flag. And they want somebody my age to be sure that I sit down, take care of myself. And I stand up. And I did it in France, and it blew people out of the water, but we made the headlines. That's my job. And I suck you in. Now, what did I say about going to sleep tonight? Because you're waking up in a free country. And it's not only because of me, it's because of you. You believe it's important to be here. So I'm going to ask you to do two things then as an aftermath. Now, the first I'm going to ask you to do, you saw the gold medal up here. You have no idea what it meant to us to receive the gold medal. You have no idea what it was like on that day, which took 7 or 8 years to be. You have no idea whatsoever as to how great it was, because you honored us. But it's you honoring us. Now, here's what I'd like you to do. You all have cell phones. If you don't know how to use them, go to one of your grandchildren. They'll show you how to use them. And I'd like you to do two things, pretty easy to do. First of all, Google my name, Dave Yoho, D-A-V-E-Y-O-H-O. Don't stay there, because I have over 80,000 entries in my name, mostly for my businesses and what I do. But if you put under that Dave Yoho, Congressional Gold Medal, you will see something fascinating. This man worked wholeheartedly just before COVID. He called me and said, the president's going to sign, and I was in Florida, I think, at the time. He called me and said, the president is going to sign a bill for the Merchant Marines. Can you be there in Washington? I said, I'll change my flight. So I changed my flight. I was supposed to go from Orlando, where I was, and make a speech in Florida. And the way I could do it, I got one of my assistants to do the speech, and I flew back. And when we got there, COVID had exploded, and that was called off. And it took 2 years later for us to get in there. And then 9 of us went. And 9 of us went, you have no idea what it was to us that we were remembered. But an interesting happened. There were 13 people who needed to speak. They were senators, they were congressmen, they were admirals, they were generals. There was a clerk there too. They had one of them. And they all spoke. So Drew said to the woman who was assistant to Nancy Pelosi at the time, well, we have a guy who works with us, and he would like to make the acceptance of the award. She says, there's no time. No time on the front. And he said, would you at least talk to him? Would you at least talk to him? I think you'll find it fascinating. So she called. And she told me what she had to do and asked me why I wanted to. I said, I don't want to do anything except say thank you. I come from a world where we didn't have any money and we didn't have any real insights of education, but my parents taught me that when somebody does something for you as promptly as possible, you say thank you. And I said that to her. We have to say thank you. She said, all right, I'll get back to you. She got back to me and said, okay, we'll squeeze you in at the end. Little did they know. I want you to Google that, because I want you to circulate that, because it's not about me. And incidentally, what we're told, I did a speech at the World War II Memorial the year before that, and there was a woman producer at Fox who, when I got up to speak, said, stream him. And we got 1,250,000 viewers from all over the world. And we got that. Because here's why we suck them in. We don't talk about me. We talk about them, meaning the other people. Woman said to me, never saw anybody get a standing ovation. Miss Pelosi said to me, marvelous, you got two standing ovations. No, I said, I got one. The other one I got when I said Charles' name. I said, and in the audience is a man that you'll want to meet, and he's my buddy, Charles, and I no sooner got finished saying his name that its caregiver, who Miss Modesty, he wouldn't tell you this story, she gets up and gives a right up in the front, she gives a fist pump, and everybody stood up. We got a wonderful, wonderful salutation to my buddy Charles. So what I'm telling you there is about people. So why do I want you to watch that? I want you to watch. We do 9.5 minutes. I do it without notes because it ain't about me. It ain't about you. It's about the way you feel. And if you can feel what we feel, if you can touch what you believe touches you from what you hear of us, you got to tell somebody else. And the way to do it, if you look at that, give it to someone else. Now it's on right now. It was 572. It's now in almost 590 websites. What do you call it?
Pages,
Beg pardon?
web pages.
Well, no, when somebody has like Nancy Pelosi has it on her website. So we get it from all different angles. But remember, you will hear me talk about women. You will hear me talk about what made this a great nation, because this is the thing our nation has lost. Saluting my flag, privilege. Standing up, speaking, privilege. Praying to my God in my voice and my tone, privilege. Teaching my children values, privilege. Appreciating the values of others who are of other cultures and of other. You don't have to agree with everything they say, but in appreciation of what we have and what we do. So that's the first thing I'm going to ask you to do. Listen to that. Pass it on. The second thing I'm going to say, and I as you notice, I work without notes. I've written this down, though. I want you to remember 4 people. I'm going to ask them now, as I name them, just to raise their hands. I'm not going to ask them to speak. Charles Mills. Frank Mendez. Claude Carrasso. They're not my neighbors. They're not my drinking buddies. I admire them. So why do I want you to have that? I want you to pass that on to other people because of what I'm about to say now. Charles, Frank, Claude, I'm donating $1,000 in each of your name to the American Merchant Marine Veterans. And I'm going to include, Ed Lawton. So I'm going to donate $1,000 to them. Now, this is no great privilege. I'm very, very oriented in charity. But I'm not doing this to charity. I'm doing it in respect for the men that we have pointed out here, the men who have given up their childhood for somebody else's future. And then, as you will see, it multiplies. I belong to a group, I think you might have heard about them. They're faith-oriented people. I'm one of them. I was converted later in my life, but I'm faith-oriented. And I take a great example. 12 guys got together and said, we're going to promote it. Don't sneeze while I'm talking, please. This is very upsetting. And I say 12 people got together and created what we call faith organizations. I believe in you. I believe when you hear this, I want other people to know about their sacrifices and what they mean. Now I'm going to end the same way I end most of my presentations about you. I consider it a great, great privilege to be with you. And when you are with others, I would like you to talk about us. Tell them of us. Tell them what we did with 250,000 of us, that now there are less than 1,000 left. The oldest guy is 107.
Reynolds Tom
Yeah.
from Pigeon Falls, Wisconsin.
And he's how old?
108.
Unbelievable. He can't walk and but he does everything else, and a hell of a guy, a hell of a sense of humor, right? I don't know that he has a girlfriend anymore, but he does almost everything else. And I think about that. And Charles, what is he now? I just think 104 years old. I want you to think back. Do you ever remember ever hearing in your own family circle of friends anybody over 100 years of age? We have 4 guys in this room, all approaching it. One guy at 99. How are you all now?
95, going on 96.
96. You're a baby.
Baby.
Yeah.
How are you?
Huh?
How are you?
Miss, don't get rough with me. I have Polaroid pictures of you when you were 17, and but I end up in this. It has been my privilege to be with you. As he said, I have to catch a red eye tonight because I have to be back tomorrow, Friday. I have to do something. I have one. I know I'm still involved in the business and make speeches for my company, but this has been a big part of my life. And I bow and say thank you to you for making my day here, my time with you all, a great privilege.
Thank you, Dave. Hear, hear.